What comes to mind for me is my father. I have not been in touch with him for many years, and somebody had told me that he transitioned a couple years ago, or he was just sort of making his transition. And I never really got confirmation on that, but I like the idea of him making his transition, and I like the idea of having a relationship with him in that way. So I took that for a while, and I would see signs when I would be driving or on the computer or something like that, and it would remind me of him, and I liked it.
Yes.
My question to you is he with you?
Is he non-physically focused?
Yeah.
Yes?
He is.
So what's the benefit to you? Why would you want an ongoing relationship with your father?
Because of the relationship that we had while he was physical, it was not the best, and I would like to have a good relationship with him while he's
So the relationship that you lived caused you to want something different that you were never able to achieve while he was in his physical resistant state. And so is there any question in your mind that you can accomplish that?
No question that I can accomplish.
And so you want to talk about it because
I wanted to know if he was with you, and I wanted to know if he had any messages for me.
the thing that is most important to understand about especially someone as specifically important to you as your parents, once they reemerge into non-physical, there is always, no exception, keen interest in what you are about.
Okay.
And from a perspective of non-resistance, not from a perspective of trying to make up for what was. You're not going to get any apologies or any sympathy or any, I'm sorry, because that's just not where the vibration is. So if that's what you're looking for, then it feels like there's no one listening, even though there is.
Mm.
So it's important to understand that his perspective has changed dramatically. And so it'll be easy for you to sync up with that. The other day, the idea of closure came through Esther's mind, and right behind it, the new definition of closure is close your mouth. That's how you get closure. That's how you get closure on. And so what you're looking for isn't closure. What you're looking for is alignment. But the best way to get closure and alignment is to close your mouth. Most of all, the message is, don't make a big deal about this. In other words, this is an eternal relationship. And so don't try to make up for lost time and don't try to understand anything. Just get on with what you are about and feel the enthusiasm that he and others have for what you are now about.
Okay.
Really good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question? How can I more consistently feel my power?
By wanting it, finding it, and acknowledging that you found it. By noticing that it's there all the time, and that power isn't about big, loud noises. Power's about clarity. Power's about strong, good-feeling emotion. Use the word clarity and power interchangeably for a while.
Okay.
And you'll realize that often you have it. Often you have it. You're never without it. It's sort of like the electrical outlet is in the wall, and all the power that you need to power anything that you want to power is right there in the wall. But you got to plug it in. So you stand there with your vacuum cleaner or whatever, and you say, I don't know what's wrong. It's like the power isn't there. And the electrician says, no, the power is already there. The power is there. You got to hook into it. Oh, that's the same thing. It's always there. It's always there, and it's always precisely calibrated for the perfect outcome that you're wanting to achieve. But you've got to sync up with it.
Okay.
Yeah. And your emotions are your key to that.
Okay.
So you are powerful in your joy. You are powerless in your anger. You are powerful in your love. You are powerless in your despair. These are too strong of words for you because you're not often on that uncomfortable feeling end of the emotional scale. But what happens is when you tap in to that clarity and you know it, nothing else will ever do. It's like you just can't stand it to not be there. So even though you're still more powerful than most anybody you know, and more powerful than you used to be all the time, it's still not enough if you're not up to speed with everything that you've ever been. And that's always going to call you. Your inner being is never going to stop calling you. Esther was sitting in one of the upper rooms looking out over this beautiful view. And she's been watching these hawks. There are two of them flying around the property. And she loves to see them because they seem powerful and sure. And they soar to such height. And when they come up close to her, as they often do, she can feel and hear the power in their wings as they go by. And so she's really enjoying these powerful birds. So the other morning, she's sitting up, and one landed in a tree very near her, close enough that with not much effort, she could have snatched it out of the tree. So she is looking at it, and it is not looking at her. And then it began making a noise, a bird sound. And Esther knew immediately that she was calling her babies to her. And Esther thought, oh, I remember this from before. Jerry and I have watched this happen before with smaller birds. Because the story goes, the mother will push them out of the nest. Not in this case. Instead, the mother went to the tallest tree on the property and called them, and called them, and called them, and called them, and called them. And Esther saying, get up here, for heaven's sakes. And called them, 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 and then one came. Because Mother knew that they could come. And she was not about to stop calling just because they didn't come immediately. And that's what it's like. You've put what you want in your vortex, and Source is calling you toward it, is calling and 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 calling. You know the joke? First we send a boat, then we send a jeep, then we send a plane, calling and calling and calling and calling and calling and calling, knowing that sometime or another you're going to accidentally be in the vicinity where you say, what's that? And when you get so, you know that the call is always there. And you get so, you're so fresh and in touch with your own impulses that you don't say, okay, I'll come, but where am I going and what's in it for me and who will be there when I get there? Instead, you trust the call. You trust that the call wouldn't be there if the conditions weren't right, and follow those free-flowing impulses on this never-ending, always a new call to a new place, eternally. How good is that? We've enjoyed this leading edge conversation. Leading edge is where it's at. When you are a master of creation, you are. You can't go back. You can't settle into something that was before. You are in a different vibrational place than you were just a few hours ago. Your willingness to participate here, to pay attention, to focus, and to experience the energy of this conversation has served you well, because in your willingness, you have accepted a vibrational frequency that's more akin to who you naturally are. So you have a different relationship now than you've ever had before with your vortex, which means the impulses of your vortex are going to be more obvious to you. Our encouragement is that you don't try to make anything happen. In other words, don't leave here with a determination that now you're really going to get it done. Understand that you already got it done, and now you're going to enjoy watching what you got done unfold. That really is the way we want you to feel about it. Watch the unfolding, but feel for the impulses. And don't get freaky or crazy about it. In other words, it's not like standing with an ear to the ground, listening for every little thing. Obvious things will happen. It's obvious stuff that will happen. It's going to happen to you because you've already done it. You're not making it happen. You're letting happen what you've already caused to be. Can you feel the difference in that? So just chill and have fun. And if we could zap you with the worthy stick, we would. If we could assert something to you, and we can't, it would be your acceptance of you being in the right place at the right time, because you are. It's a good time for you to begin to allow a cashing in of your vibrational currency. It's a good time for you to accept the connectedness that is you, to begin acknowledging that you are psychic also, that you are receptive also, that Source is keenly aware of you and infinitely interested in you, and that everything that you have collaboratively queued up for yourself is unfolding here and here and here and here and here and here and here. Pay attention to your emotions, and if you feel impatient, try to talk that impatience down. Remind yourself that it's all right and that things are always working out for you. And the more often you remind yourself that things are always working out for me, things are always working out for me, the more evidence of that will show itself to you, and the more you will believe it. Until in time, you will know about you what we know about you. And that is that there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have if this time-space reality has helped you to develop a conscious desire for it. We cannot offer enough words to express to you the appreciation that we feel for your willingness to be out here on this leading edge, where you allow the manifestation of so many things that we have all thought into being together. You are not separate from us. You are extensions of us. We are not separate from you. We are components of you. And together, we are supposed to be living happily ever after. You are eternal beings. You always will be. So there's no rush toward anything. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain in your vortex.